Right now we're about to take a look at Module 1, Lesson 10, and I have a place value chart also too that I'm going to be using to show you some of these first ones. It says on here that subtract, so taking things away, finding the difference, and we can use a place value chart. I have 4 problems in mind that I'd like to do with you today, so I'm going to have to move fairly quickly. So what we've got here is the first one we're looking at is 9/10, and we're taking away 3/10 from that to find out how many tenths we happen to have left. So here's the place value chart. So we were looking at 9/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If there was another dot here, it would be 10/10. I put them in rows that are 5 each because sometimes that kind of makes it easier to think about, oh, if I had one more, so 9 plus 1 is 10, that kind of thing. And so when we look back at this, it tells us we're taking away 3/10 away from our 9/10. And so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a different color. I'm going to go with red. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross them out. We're taking away 3 of them. So if we, whoops, I'm going to say edit, go back, undo. So now if we get our pencil and we say we're going to take away 3 of them. So we'll go line thickness smaller. Now I'm going to cross them out. So this one I wanted red. Let's try it one more time. We'll get a red. 1, 2, 3 of them we're taking away. And so then we see how much is left. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are left. So our answer then is going to be 6/10. So we come back to here and we say 6/10. If we wanted to make it with a decimal, we would know the decimal is here and we just put that 6 in the tenths place. Or we could use this word just like this. The next one we're looking at is more complicated. 56 thousandths minus 23 thousandths. Now I'm not going to expect you, if you're using a place value chart on something like this, to make 56 dots. And then cross out 23 dots. You understand that there's different symbols that can represent larger sizes of numbers. These are larger dots. We'll therefore say that each one of those dots is worth 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. One more makes 56. So we'll say that is 56. And what are we taking away from it? We're taking away 23 thousandths. So if we go back there, we've got them all in the thousandths place. We've still got our red pencil, so we're taking away 23 thousandths. Here's taking away 10 of them, 20 of them, 23, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3 of them. And then we can see what we have left. So let's scroll on down just a tad, little bit. So we can tell on there then we have 10, 20, 30. We have 3 in the tens place. 3 is in the tens place, and 1, 2, 3 in the ones place. So we have 33 thousandths as the result of that subtraction problem. So if we go on back up to that form, we know then we have 33 thousandths. And so if we were to write 33 thousandths, we know there's nothing in the tenths place. And then we say 33 thousandths, because this is the thousandths place. We know then that this is the hundredths place. So that 3 is going to land here. This 3 is the thousandths place. So it's going to land right there. So now let's take a look at the next problem that I've got figured out to show you. This one, it's saying, if we go back down, it says to use the standard algorithm. So that's kind of that old school method that keeps coming up, a standard algorithm. So we're going to be doing some writing in this case. And you can think about it in relation to that place value chart that we just did, that you really only want to be taking away something in the same place value. So when we go to do this, I'm going to make our line thickness a wee bit smaller. Well, now we're at 0 to make nothing. We'll say at 1. And so if we go 5 in the tens place, nothing in the ones place, put our decimal, 416 thousandths means there's a 4 in the tenths, 1 in the hundredths, 6 in the thousandths. We are finding the difference between the two, how much is left. And we have a 4 in the ones place this time, a decimal, a 2 in the tenths place, a 5 in the hundredths place. So we can't take 5 away from 1. There's only 1 there. I can't take 5 away from that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow one of these that's in the tenths place. I'm going to leave 3 of them behind, and I'm going to say that's worth 10 of them, right? Because if we put 10 of them, I'm going to have 1 in the tenths place. So now we have 11, take away 5. I know that's going to be a 6, because 6 plus 5 gets me 11, so I can do it backwards to check my work. What do I add to 2 to get to 3? I add a 1. 1 plus 2 gets me that 3. Or you can say if you have 3 and you take 1 away, or take 2 away, it leaves you with 1. Now I can't take 4 away from nothing, because there's nothing to give. So I'm going to borrow 1 of the tens, and I'm going to make this 10 ones. It's like saying, okay, I want to take a dime and add it to here, so now we've got pennies. If you have a dime, you've got 10 pennies. What do I add to 4 to get to 10? I add a 6 to 4 to get to 10. And so we know that there's kind of a 0 here. What are we taking? Whoops. Scroll away. Head back down. So now if we've got 4 and we're taking nothing away from it, we still have 4. So that's our answer. So we're going to fill in the blank. A 4, a 6, a 1, and another 6. I'm not on the line yet. I'm getting better at this over time, but I'm just not there yet. Now we're going to do kind of a complex word problem down here. I'm only at 7.5 minutes. I'm doing all right, so trying to shoot for 4 problems. So this one is telling us something kind of new here. It says to use a tape diagram to show our thinking. So here's what a tape diagram looks like. I pulled one up on the internet on an answer key. Let me pull that up for you to show you. Here it is. Here's that exact same problem. It says a clipboard costs $2.23, which is 58 cents more than a notebook. Lisa buys 2 clipboards and 1 notebook. So they've made a picture out of this. She buys a clipboard, 1 clipboard, and it costs $2.23. The notebook, we don't know how much it costs, but we know that the total, $2.23, if we take 58 cents off of that, we will find out the notebook. So they did it with a standard idea over here to come up with, oh, well, it's $1.65. And then you make a big long tape like this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on our problem. So we know that she buys a clipboard, C-L-I-P-B-O-A-R-D, and that the clipboard, the total of it is 2 and 23/100. We know also too that it's in relation to a notebook. I want to use the same size tape. I don't want my tape to be bigger or smaller because it's in relation to the clipboard. And we know that it's 58 cents less. So we know that 58 cents goes over here. And we're not sure how much this is. That's supposed to be a question mark. So then if we go over here and we go 2.23, and we're going to take away from that 58 cents so we can figure out how much goes here. So if I have 58/100, We have to borrow because we can't take 8 away from 3. 3 is not bigger than or the same as 8. So we're going to have to borrow. So we're going to take away a tenth, make that 13. 8 plus 2 gets me to 10, and then 3 more gets me to 13. So 2 plus 3 brings us to 5 altogether. I can't take 5 away from 1. There's not enough. So I'm going to take away a penny, or sorry, a dollar, have a dollar left. And I know then that that's going to make for 10 dimes. I know that 5 plus 5 gets me 10, so 5 plus 6 must get me to 11. And then this is a 0 here. So 0 taken away from 1 leaves you a whole. So this is actually $1.65 for a notebook. So $1.65 is how much a notebook is. And now we take a look at what she's buying and how much she has to spend. All of this right here is how much she has to spend. That happens to be $10 total. And we know that she's buying 2 clipboards. So each clipboard is 2 23/100. Here's another clipboard, 2 23/100. Here's her notebook at $1.65. And then here's her change that she's going to get back from the cashier. So now we're going to say this $1.65 is her notebook. We're going to add to that. Here's one clipboard. Here's another clipboard. So we'll find out how much all this costs all together. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, we've got something that's in the next place value then. We go 2 plus 2 is 4. I know 4 plus 6 is 10. That 1 is going to make for an 11. And again, we got to carry it over. 2 plus 2, 4, 5, 6. So $6.11 is her total. So now we can kind of mental math this. I know that if I have 11 and I add 9 more to my 11, gets me to 20. So I added a 9 to get to 20. So now I'm there. And now if I'm at 20, I know if I add 80, that's going to get me up to 100. So that's going to be 89. And so now we're at 7 because we added 89 cents to this. We're at 7, and I know 7 plus 3 is 10. So that's 89 cents. And then we've got 3 more dollars to get to 10. So that's $3.89. Doing it the kind of other method, using just subtraction, we've got $10 to spend. We are spending $6.11, right? We're going to take away $6.11 because that's what they're taking at the cash register. So now I have to go all the way over here to borrow. So there's going to be no 10s left. And so if we make this into 10 ones, and we take 1 away, we're going to have a 9. If we say we've got 10 dimes and we take 1 away, it's going to leave us 9 dimes. Now we've got 10 pennies. 10 pennies minus 1 penny is going to be a 9. 9, take away 1 is 8. 6 plus 3 is 9, or 9 take away 6 is 3. Either way you go. And we get $3.89 two different ways. So that's how much this one is right here for this question mark. This is $3.89 change coming back to her at the cash register. Oh, I went over 14 minutes. Anyway, not too bad. Thanks. Bye. Oh, your homework. Ha! Let's show you your homework. Here is your homework. I would like you to pick one of these two. Either the top one that says subtract or subtract vertically, showing your work. Thanks.